There's the number coming up there. I think I pushed the button. How come the number? Oh yeah,
I've
it's
never
okay.
had ever filmed a video with my iPad. Alright, you ready? Okay, welcome back to Fun Friday. This week we have a game called Never Have I Ever Teacher Edition, based on my 8 years of teaching experience and Miss Spafford's 14 years of teaching experience. So we're going to go through some questions and have a little fun. Okay.
Have you ever wanted part of a student snack or lunch?
What have you wanted?
Well, a few years ago when we gave up meat for Lent, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. It was Chick-fil-A Day at school. And a student came and sat right near my desk with a Chick-fil-A sandwich, and I wanted it so bad. I think I could have eaten the sandwich and the wrapper. It was
You don't
so
worry
good.
about their germs?
The scent was just wafting up my nose, tempting me like you wouldn't believe.
That makes more sense. I can't say that I have. There's something about their germs. Their germs and their breathing on it. Have you ever cried at school?
Well, I've had some good news at school, some bad news at school. I've been upset or frustrated at school, so I have cried. Try not to cry in front of my students, although that's rare.
I've cried a lot, but not in front of them. And we take turns. We don't ever cry at the same time.
We don't cry at the same time. We're considerate like that. After her, it's my turn. We go back and forth.
And we try to schedule it for a break so that y'all don't have to witness it.
That's right. Next question. Have you ever recorded a video lesson without brushing your hair?
I have. Y'all know it. I know it. We all know it. Because this is a lot of hair. This is a lot of hair.
That's the perk of curly hair.
If I don't have to brush it, I'm not brushing it.
Straight hair, you can't do that. You're lucky.
I try. But you also have to take into account that Tucker's in one of my videos, and this is like his favorite hobby. But if I don't have to brush it, I'm brushing it like twice a week during this pandemic. Just keeping it real. Oh. Have you ever found something unusual in a student's desk?
Unusual. Gosh, 4 or 5 years ago, I asked a student for an assignment that I knew was probably in his desk. And he starts taking things out of his desk, and there was like a water bottle. Okay. Then he pulled out another water bottle. And then he pulled out a third water bottle. By the end, there were 6 water bottles coming out of this student's desk. 6, with various amounts of water in each one. And I was thinking, is that the desk or the garbage can? It was quite a 6-pack of water.
How do books fit in it? That's what I want to know.
Barely.
I have. One time I was going through a student's desk and there weren't any water bottles in it, but like half the trash can was in it for sure. And I got to the very back of it, and folded really neatly in the back corner was a pair of underwear. I don't know how they got there, and I don't know why they were there, and I really don't want to know.
He was probably having a rough day.
But if you have to take your underwear off in the bathroom, put them in the trash can. Like, don't bring them back to the classroom.
Ooh.
Or like, I don't know. I don't know.
I've never found underwear, but
I
there's
hope I
still
don't ever
time.
again. Ever.
Have you ever taught a lesson without planning?
Yeah. Do a lot of things without planning. Most of it happened when I was student teaching, because and now that I've had a student teacher, I get it. It's like free babysitting. You get here and you got some time to kill, so you just throw them into the wolves. And I did that to our student teacher before she left. But that's what happens. You get in the classroom and you want to impress them, and so when they say, hey, do you want to teach science today? You never say no, because you think that might be your only time to ever teach in your life. And so you say, sure, and then I honestly can't even tell you what I taught about because you're just in survival mode.
Believe it or not, I remember the year and the subject. It was Science 2015. I remember the 5A students were coming in and the panic was starting because I had nothing planned for that day. And I just decided to review. It actually ended up being okay, but it was very difficult. There must have been a good reason I did not plan.
The worst is when they realize that you didn't plan. If you can get it past them that you didn't plan, then you're good. You're good. But I had a student last year, and he called me out for it every time. Like,
Ooh.
not so much teaching without planning, but playing games without planning. And he would always be like, "Small, you made this up, didn't you?" He was right. He was always right. But I tried. Have you ever told a student, great question, we'll come back to it, because you had no idea what the answer is?
Of course. What teacher hasn't done that?
I do that on a daily basis. I really do. Y'all ask really great questions, but like they're really not on my level. Or I'll tell you I'll Google it. They know I'll Google it. Those are my responses. Like, good question, I smile or nod, say I'll Google it, or my favorite is, I don't know, why don't you ask Miss Spafford that when you get next door?
Or I'll say, that's a good question for your parents. Maybe you should go home and ask that.
Try that. Yeah. Like, why does Uranus have the diameter of a peak? I don't know. They ask what's your question.
I get questions in religion sometimes that are difficult, for sure.
Yeah, that's when you say Father Driscoll. I have said that once.
Have you ever been thrown up on by a student?
My number one rule in the classroom is and will always be, you can throw up on yourself and you can throw up on your friends, but you cannot throw up on me. That was my rule even in preschool.
I have been sneezed on, coughed on, burped on, and the Dorito breath has come. But
You throw up.
I have not been thrown up on by a student.
I think the closest I've ever gotten is licked. I've been licked by smaller children, not by fifth graders. That would be weird. But I've never been thrown up. I think if I get thrown up on, that's going to be the sign that I need to go work at Target. I can't.
I did rub the student's back while he was throwing up, but still I didn't get it on me.
Like, tuck your feet on there.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't get on your shoe. Have you ever used your teacher voice outside of school? I have.
I don't do that.
Not even on accident?
Don't recall it.
I actually do it a lot. I don't try to, but I'll catch myself doing it. Like when we went to the concert in New Orleans, my sister wasn't listening, and I went full on teacher mode and like even did the arm movements, and I was like, go this way, into the car. And then I have actually been known to do it to people that I don't even know because their kids are like screaming at a restaurant, and I'm just like, it's just habit, it's reflex. They usually don't know that I'm getting on to them, the strangers, but it happens because we're so routine. That's right. Nobody takes me seriously. It is.
Have you ever been overcome by a smell in your classroom? Oh.
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
about it.
When I was teaching preschool, I had this little girl in my class. So when you walked in the room, there was these cubbies, and it was like this. And the ceiling had tiles that you could like lift up. And there was the worst smell known to man. Like I had never smelled anything that foul before that day or since that day. It was so bad. I thought there was a dead animal in the roof. So I called the maintenance man to come, and like he got up in the roof, crawled around, never found the animal because there wasn't one. And then later that day, it came time for lunch, and I opened the little girl's lunch, and it was whatever she had brought for lunch. Like it hadn't gone bad. It was some kind of fruit that actually turned out like is illegal to eat in another country because of its smell. And so every day when she brought that after that, I made her put her lunch outside of the building, and she did not get to have that.
Did it smell like garbage?
It smelled like garbage, but with a dead animal in it that had been sitting in the sun in Arizona for about 4 days, and then like a homeless person went to the bathroom It was terrible. It was terrible.
Well, when I taught 4th grade, there was a student I had who came in, and she must have doused herself with an entire bottle of perfume. And it was filling up the classroom so much that while I was teaching, everybody else in the room was going. And I was having a hard time teaching with the smell. But seeing everybody with their hands over their mouth, unfortunately, made me laugh. But it was definitely the precursor to Axe body spray.
Oh.
That's what it was like. A fog of yellow was in my 4th grade classroom. I'll never forget it.
That's really gross. I'm glad we don't have that issue, you know?
Right, we don't.
I don't know if it's in the handbook or something, but whatever it is, I'm thankful.
But
Have you ever had an awkward moment related to an outfit?
oh my gosh. In that same year, when I was very young, in the 80s, probably before you were born, there were these things called rompers for adults. And of course I had some. They were sleeveless, and they were buttoned right here. It was one piece. I had a green one with flowers because I wanted to be on the cover of Vogue. And I had this red one with white polka dots on it. And I had some white cat shoes, okay? And I wore it to school feeling like, Mom, this looks so good. And a student came up to me and said, Miss Hecker, you look like a clown. I felt kind of bad, but I didn't know if I should have started juggling at the moment or not.
Why didn't you wear it today? That's what I want to know.
I did not have my fashion consultant that I have these days. Now, if I walked in the room looking like a clown,
I'd send you home.
she'd send me
I'd
home.
either send you home or be like, give me your phone, we need to call town. Or I can't teach with you dressed like that today because I can't take you seriously. And if I'm 29 and I can't take you seriously, they can't either.
I went home and I took that romper off and I donated it. And somebody probably used it for Halloween the following year.
I wonder if somebody still has it, because rompers are coming back in. I will not be partaking in that trend because I do not look good in a romper. It's one of the
I
reasons
thought
why.
I did that day.
And they quickly put you in your place. Mine were not ugly, they were just invasive. With preschoolers, a lot of my stories come from preschoolers, but you know, they're curious. Not really curious, but like I had a dress that buttoned all the way down, and there was a little girl in my class and she had just learned how to do and undo buttons. And so I was holding her and I was talking to the principal at the time, and I realized halfway through the conversation that she had undone like the first 5 buttons while I'm having this conversation. And that was pleasant.
But awkward for sure.
It was.
Hold on. Let me button
Wait,
it.
but can you hold her while I get dressed back up a minute? Earlier while you were talking, Miss Pugh will stop by. I waved. If she comes back around, we can ask her one of our questions.
Okay.
The last one.
That's what me. Have you ever missed your students during a pandemic?
Yeah. It's not the same.
Yeah, we miss you so much. We wish you were here with us. We wish we could teach you and see you every day.
Part of my teaching is feedback from the audience, and Tucker does not give a lot of great feedback. I mean, he claps and laughs sometimes, but mostly he just pulls my hair.
We miss you. We hope you enjoyed this. And
Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
yeah.
Let's see if Deb is still out.
Have you ever wanted part of a student's snack or lunch? I have. When I was the person walking around for middle school, some of the middle school students had some really, really good lunches that I can remember. Abby Ferlisi, for one, who had great lunches. She's now at McGill, but some days I wanted to eat her lunch.
Good.
Have you ever had an awkward moment related to an outfit?
one blue shoe, one black shoe, same shoe.